Mayor.
All right, call the meeting to order. A moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mrs. Franks?
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Present.
Councilwoman Foster,
Present.
Councilwoman LaPratt, here. Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Here.
Councilwoman Williams,
Present.
Councilman Toussaint,
Yes.
City Manager Szymanski,
Here.
City Attorney Persicini.
Okay, that takes us to, I need a motion for the minutes.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to accept, receive, and file the minutes of the regular city council meeting held June 8th, 2026, and to receive and file the minutes of the Planning Commission meeting of June 24th and the Election Commission meeting of July 7th.
Support.
Any discussion?
She did. Cheryl. She said discussion.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Sorry.
Motion carries. Keep critiquing. I need, this is public comments on agenda items only. If you have something to comment on the agenda item, please step forward.
Hi, my first question is, I'd like to know if there's anything on the new agenda that has been paid for without the consent of City Council, that he sends a check out without City Council's approval, puts it on there, and then he sits there and say, well, I need your approval now, because that's in the city charter, he can't do that. The second thing I want to know is that a new appearance is on there, and that's a quite big bill, so that's a lot of grass that's too high. I want to make sure that you're putting it on the proper tax thing instead of me having to pay for it. That's supposed to go to the house that they cut, not the individual taxpayer. So I just wanted to make sure on that one.
Is there anyone else who wants to speak on agenda items only? Here we go.
May I?
Yeah. Approach.
Thank you.
Thank you. You only have 3 minutes, right?
Sorry?
3 minutes.
3 minutes or get it done. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for having me in today and allowing me to talk in front of you. I am asking for a narrowly scoped text amendment to the city's ordinance pertaining to cannabis, where it currently does not allow for drive-through operations. The master plan is, as you know, is intended to guide the city for the future, not to prevent thoughtful improvements when conditions are about. The text amendment exists exactly for that reason, to allow changes to the master plan when the conditions are different or have evolved into something that the master plan never accommodated for. Section 805 of the Harperwood zoning ordinance gives council the authority to amend these ordinances. The final legislative decision has and always remains with you guys, how you decide to do things. It doesn't require extraordinary hardship, unique circumstances, or practical difficulty, or any other evidentiary burden. It requires situations that are different from when the master plan was drafted. It doesn't require a rigid checklist for amendments or proposals or advances in public interest or improving accessibility, supporting economic vitality and modernization of the ordinances. Tonight's question is not simply whether cannabis retailers should have drive-through service. The real question is whether existing ordinance continues to serve the best interests of the citizens of Harper Woods. It's also important to recognize that my property was designated as a bank. It was designed and built as a bank when drive-throughs were allowed. It has all of the stacking lanes, everything that is required to safely and legally operate a drive-through. The ordinance, the new master plan, took that away. When you guys drafted the cannabis ordinance, drive-throughs were not allowed at the state level either. So it would be natural for you to say no to it. Well, the state recognized the value of that, and they changed that rule after you guys came out with the ordinance. So it is an allowed event now, and many cities use it. What this would do, what this change of ordinance that I'm requesting is a text change simply to allow drive-throughs. It helps senior citizens with limited mobility, disabled veterans, caregivers picking up medicine for people they're caring for, parents with a child sleeping in the back. The master plan is intended to guide the city's future, but it should also allow room for thoughtful refinement of when circumstances evolve. This amendment respects the master plan while responding to today's realities. You guys already did that when you changed the hours. You recognized that competitive activity in surrounding communities, it's evolving, and you guys evolved with it, and I thank you for that. I appreciate that. Tonight I'm asking you, again, to exercise your legislative authority and overrule the Planning Commission's recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Is there anyone else that has anything on the agenda that they would like to speak to? Seeing none, okay, this goes to, okay, postpone item. Okay. So then what do we do? John's gonna?
Yeah. Okay, postpone items. Number 1, as requested by City Council, this matter was referred to the Planning Commission and the matter was discussed at their June 24th meeting. It is recommended that this item be removed from postpone and placed under old business item number 1. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the motion to remove CM 058926, request to rezone amend zoning map 19616 Kelly Road, take it off of postponed items and put them into old business.
Support.
Any discussion? As the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So this has been moved to old business. All right. I need a resolution for consent agenda. Let's speak at the same time. Okay?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 15.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Mm-hmm.
There are a few things, but to begin with, regarding Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, I noticed that in this series of payments, we are tonight paying for 9 hours of oversight on the Pocket Park, which came to $1,136.82. And in the past, on the 11th of June, we paid $368.06 toward the Pocket Park. And I drive past the Pocket Park pretty regularly. I think that it would be a surprise that 9 hours could be spent. I could look at it in 30 seconds and tell you that nothing's been done. And so I'm curious about what's going on there. And if AEW is here, I don't know if they are.
Well, if they are, but I'll take care of that part. You just asked your question.
My question is, what's going on with the pocket park that would have us pay $1,500 this year alone toward that facility?
Okay,
So that's one question.
okay.
All right. Brian, would you like to answer that? Are you able to answer that question?
All right, so there is time that we've spent on that job as far as contract administration, in trying to get in touch with the contractor. We have had difficulty with getting in touch with the contractor on that project. They basically ghosted us at this point. The last meeting we had on site with them was on roughly May 15th. At that time, they said they were going to be back on site within a week to complete the project. They came back for 1 day to put some topsoil down. Since that time, they haven't been back on site. The last written communication we have from them was back on June 1st, again saying that they would be on site within the next few days. Since that time, we've tried to contact them. I've tried contacting numerous people, and they are not responding to phone calls, emails, texts. They are not calling back from voicemails. At this point, we're going to be reaching out to the bonding company. We do have a performance bond on that project. I have a letter typed up that's going to go out tomorrow to the bonding company. The bonding company has 5 days, bonding company or the contractor will have 5 days to respond to that. If the contractor doesn't respond within 5 days, then the surety company will step in and have that project completed by other forces.
All right, thank you.
Is there any further questions? Hold up, Brian. Any further discussion? All right. Oh, yes?
It's not for Ryan. I have some questions about some checks that went out for, first I'm going to say I thought Juneteenth was wonderful, but we had a budget of $23,000, and the checks that I'm seeing that have come through in this agenda and the last one have come to a total of $27,549.74. For an overage of $45,1674. Part of that was $3,500 for Love Publicity, where they billed us starting for a bill in May. We approved them on May 18th at a meeting, so I'm not positive if that $3,500 was for 13 days worth of publicity or if it was, I don't know how they bill. So seems odd they bill us for an entire month, but we didn't approve it till the 19th. I know that on the sign there were some sponsorships, and so I've looked into it, and I think that we need, as a city, to protect ourselves and have a policy on sponsorships, that we should, it's administered by our city manager, and a date that these sponsorships come in, who can give a sponsorship and for what amount, because we don't want to see anyone coming and giving us money and have anything look differently than what it is. So I think that we need a policy on these sponsorships, and I'm hearing from other cities that they have committees, and it's in their, that they're seeing in their agendas exactly who's giving money, how much it is, and that it's completely transparent to us and to the public. So if Ryan from AEW, the AEW gave us $10,000, we need to be able to see that. And it would really help for these budgets if we knew we had $50,000 coming in and then the budget was $100,000, that really the city was only paying $50,000. Maybe we would stop a little bit of this arguing because we would already know it in advance. So can we start doing that? And I asked for at our last meeting and was told yes, that we would get a post-event budget, and it's not in here. We're not seeing, this would be the fourth event, and we haven't seen how much we spent, how much came back in.
Okay, Phil, you want to answer those questions?
Gladly. I am keeping track of all the sponsorships. It's up to about 22,000. We do have an entertainment committee, and they are going to meet, and it'll be presented the entire summer. I promised that I would have a pre-Labor Day budget and a full accounting of what was approved and what was spent. And then I said I would also have a budget laid out for all future events post-Labor Day. And I still stand by that schedule. If you would like something in August, I can also produce that very easily because it's right on my desktop. So, and for Love Publicity, it is a 4-month contract at $3,500. So it is a $14,000 contract. I believe the last time I was at this podium, I declared that. But that was the first payment. We wanted to get her going because that was the first event, and we knew we had to pay her. So we had paid her to this point 2 installments of that $14,000.
All right.
But the amount, but we didn't agree to that amount till the 18th of May, and they billed us $3,500 for the month of May.
That was upon my instruction to get them going for June. They had put a lot of work in up to even that point. And we knew that we wanted them for our whole festival. So yeah, I asked them to send us one billing, 1/4 of what we knew we were obligated to pay them throughout the season.
Right.
And I also will reiterate, you will have a full accounting of all the events up to Labor Day, side by side with the budget of what was approved and set forth, and a full accounting going forth, post-Labor Day, for all the events scheduled.
I mean, it just seems that most companies don't bill for 31 days and only give you 13 days worth of, I mean,
Again, she had
that's
worked
normal.
prior before, and we knew we were going to engage her for the season. She was working on logos and PR, banners, and she was fully engaged at that point because we had approved it. And so I asked her to bill us 1/4 of what we owed.
Is there more than that one flyer and this Eventbrite? Because I've gotten some complaints about,
What? What did you say?
there's one flyer and the Eventbrite. Is there anything else that we are paying $3,500 a month for besides some Facebook posts?
I absolutely can give you the updates. We get them about every 3-4 days. And if you'd like to be privy to them, but it's lagging sometimes on the information that we give her. But I think we're fully engaged, communication channels are clicking.
Thank you. Is there any further questions? Thank you, Phil. All right, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman Constantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, this takes us to old business. I need a resolution.
Madam Mayor?
John has to read through.
John.
Okay. Old business, let's see here. Okay, old business number 1. Okay, Mayor and Council, I have attached correspondence from the city clerk and the review letters submitted by the planning consultant with regard to the request of a text amendment to the zoning ordinance to allow for drive-through operations in the MU-2 district. I have reviewed this and I concur with the Planning Commission's recommendation to deny this request. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
By resolution, to deny the request for the text amendment to the zoning ordinance to allow drive-through operations in the MU-2 district.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I have a couple of questions. So the state has now said that's okay to have drive-throughs, but our city charter says it's not, right? Or our ordinance, wherever says it's not.
Yeah.
Since this is one business in that area, if this was approved, I'm just saying if it was, would that mean that any other business have to still come before the planning commission and have to try to get a drive-through? Or if we said yes, would it be like a blanket for anybody in that?
Anybody, liquor stores, anything could come in with a drive-through window. At this point in time, we don't know what kind of litigation, if any, we would be facing. We would certainly have to make that accommodation. I can understand the argument Mr. Lippman put forth, but when Mr. Lippman submitted his site plan, he knew that he couldn't have a drive-in window at that time. I think that the Planning Commission was very fair in upping the hours and allowing more business at his location. And we are doing some things on Kelly Road that I think will improve the environment there at this time. I'm not saying that this is a wrong way of looking at anything, and I certainly understand his position, but at this time, we just put a master plan into effect that quite possibly could be rendered useless at this point. So that's kind of where we're at. The city council can do what the city council wants to do, but that's where we're standing. I stand with the planning commission.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I think it's worthwhile mentioning that we did extend hours and that this can always be brought up in the future. I know that on the material that we were just handed, we were given a number of reasons that it might help various, people. However, there is nothing that indicates that any of these people currently use that business. We don't know what kind of effect, anything else is having. We've been told a number of different arguments in the past about another facility. There's just so many variables that I know, this could be brought up again in the future, and I'd like to see, what happens right now and where we're going on Kelly before anything changes.
Any other discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'm looking at that area right now, and you said we got all these plans in our master plans. So far, we still have a whole bunch of empty buildings. I don't see anybody trying to swoop up or buy. I still see Fly Social still running around illegal. And this man, it says, the drive-through, I don't have to change any construction. It's just one area there. And it just, to me, it just doesn't seem like it would totally impact the master plan that much. But you say it is. I mean, I can't see a lot of ADAs and I don't see any plans for any more housing units coming in. So I just don't see why we make this such a big deal and denying this man this one little piece that's already in place. But, hey.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I agree with Councilmember Toussaint. The building already has a drive-through. And if we say that people can have a drive-through, that doesn't mean that everybody's gonna run out and get a drive-through, because it's gonna cost $1 million to put one in, but he already has one. And as somebody who's been recently disabled, it is really hard sometimes to get out of the car and walk somewhere and go in. And unless you're experiencing it, you don't understand how hard it is. And I've been through this twice in the last year. So, I mean, I think that everything should have a drive-through, to be honest with you. I think grocery stores should be drive-through. I don't think we should make people get out of their cars because it's so hard for some people. And so, I mean, if somebody wants to spend $1 million to add a drive-through, that's not really a big deal. Now, as far as the master plan goes, I understand when, I mean, it took a really long time to put it together. When they started putting it together, this wasn't legal. But now it is legal. And generally, when the state says something is legal or we should do something, like for all of our building codes, anytime the state changes it, we change it locally. So if we're not changing it to match what the state's doing, then we're behind the times. We're, you know, we should be matching what the state says is legal. And so, I mean, personally, just use some common sense. The guy already has a drive-through. What's the big deal? Let people have the opportunity to go to get what they need. I mean, I don't even use marijuana or any illegal substances, and I still think they should be allowed to go through the drive-through. I mean, it's hard sometimes. It's really hard.
Ms. Foster?
You can knock a hole in the wall for a drive-through. So, number one, McKenna does not believe that the standards of amending the zoning ordinance have been met. The Planning Commission denied it. I hate doing this. All of these things that he suggested here could be curbside or delivery services. So that's one way of getting around it. They don't have to leave their vehicle. They don't have to leave their home. It can be delivered or brought to them in their car.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a text amendment to rezone that entire area to allow drive-throughs in that entire area. So the building next to our gang, they want to buy that building and knock a hole through the wall, put a driving window. Our gang now, you can drive up and get liquor. You could any single building, you are now making that entire strip into into allowing a drive-through. And you can say, oh, they're not going to do that until they do it. So there's a reason that we came up with these ordinances for that master plan. They knew when they put the building in that they weren't allowed and what zone they were in.
No.
They also have curbside pickup. You can drive up there, call on the phone. They'll bring out a menu. They'll bring out whatever you want. That you can call on the phone and they will deliver it to your house. So as far as handicapped, disabled, you can do all of that. We are opening a can of worms, allowing all of these businesses to do this. They knew what they bought, and there's another business up the road, and we're supposed to change it. He's got a business at exit 181. There's a Muha 400 feet from him and another cannabis shop 1,000 feet away from that. I doubt that he has a drive-through at that store. So all of a sudden, the city of Harper Woods is supposed to do a text amendment to rezone an entire area for one business. And then we don't know what's going to happen with any of these other businesses, a drugstore, anything that happens. He knew when he bought that business, what the law was and what our ordinances were.
Well, the drugstore already has a drive-through.
It's not in that zone. That drugstore is not in that same zone. It's up the street.
The difference in the zones. But another question is, when we set up these master plans and stuff, that was not legal. The drive-through was not legal by the state of Michigan for cannabis sale. That has since changed. So why is it that not our ability to change with the state law? Why is it not possible? Why is it so detrimental to us that we can't bend or change our rules to accommodate a business in our community that benefits us? I don't understand it, because if it was so bad, why did the state change it? Anyway, okay. Is there anyone else with?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I just had another question. Before it was a cannabis business, it was a bank a long time ago. So at that time, our ordinances was completely different, or was it, the zone was, it was completely different zone at that time?
Yeah.
Okay. And when the bank was there, it's not a cannabis business, it's a bank. And I've gone to the bank many times. I don't remember really.
If a bank had opened up there, they would have been able to have had a drive-through. Simple as that. It would have been no issue regarding the master plan. If Citizen Bank had opened where NDB was, instead of the cannabis business, they would have been allowed to have a drive-through. So I just don't understand when it's legal by the state and we're putting so much emphasis, like plans are made to be changed. That's why we do plans. Nothing is in concrete. Even with our charter and everything else, we make amendments to our Constitution. Plans are to be adapted to this, what's happening in the time. But anyway, okay, fine. So, is there anyone else? Okay, roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilwoman Foster.
I'm not sure what to say, yes or no. then-
Well, the motion or the resolution is to deny. So if you agree with deny, then it's a yes. Or if you don't agree with the deny, it's a no. Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
No.
Councilwoman Williams.
No,
Mayor Kindle.
No.
Councilwoman Costantino.
No.
Okay, resolution fails.
All right.
Okay, moving on to new business item number 1, introduction and adoption bond ordinance, water and sewer system revenue bonds. Mayor and council, attached is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the water and sewer system revenue bonds, which are to be sold through the Michigan Finance Authority Quarter Clean Water State Revolving Fund Program. This ordinance authorizes the issuance of the bonds in the amount not to exceed $5,500,000 for sanitary sewer rehabilitation improvements. The bids we have received so far have come in significantly less than this amount. The ordinance also authorizes city officials to take necessary action to execute and deliver the bond and all related documents, approve the final size of the bond, and contains all the necessary items required by the Bond Act. I have reviewed this at length with bond attorney Patrick McGowan, and I concur with his recommendation that this ordinance be adopted. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor? Make the resolution to introduce and adopt ordinance number 2026-04 entitled, "An Ordinance to Provide for the Acquisition, Construction, Furnishing, and Equipping of Improvements in the Water and Sewer System of the City of Harper Woods, to provide for the issuance and sale of revenue bonds to pay for the cost thereof, to provide for the collection of revenues from the system sufficient for the purpose of paying the cost of operation and maintenance of the system, and to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds and certain outstanding bonds of the system, to provide for the rights of the holders of the bonds in enforcement thereof, and to provide for other matters relating to the bond and the system, and to further direct the city clerk to publish a notice of this in accordance with the Revenue Bond Act and city charter requirements."
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor? I'm curious as to what our current bond rating is, because this is based on the current rating, isn't it?
Our bond rating hasn't really changed all that much, other than I believe we had a negative outlook. Now it's a positive outlook, triple B. Pat McGowan is here. You want to shed some more light on that, Pat?
Yes, thank you. Pat McGow from Miller Canfield. I'm here as your bond attorney. This financing is not related to the city's bond rating. So the state of Michigan runs this program as a low-cost, low-interest loan program where the city is qualified to get financing at 1% for a 30-year term. So that is significantly less than market rates, and that's because of the city's information that you submitted when you applied that shows that the city's residents and users of the system are significantly overburdened. So the state gave you the lowest rate that they offer, which is 1%. So it's not tied to your bond rating as it would be if you were doing a bond sale in the open market.
What is it tied to? What is it tied to?
Because what the state does is they look at the cost to users of the system, and you qualified as being significantly overburdened, which gives you the lowest interest rate that they offer. So they look at what the cost is of your system and those things, and that's what allowed you to qualify for the financing. And in addition to that lowest rate, they also have what they call principal forgiveness, which is kind of like a grant for roughly 13% as well.
And that comes out to about $700,000?
Yeah, on the full amount. Now, what we don't know is what the final amount will be. The next few agenda items, Ryan will talk about the bids, which came in significantly lower than expected, which is good news. The actual amount of the loan is going to be based upon the total of all the different line items for the construction costs, plus the engineering design. We won't know what that number is until the end of the month. What we're asking for is to approve at the amount that was authorized earlier in the year, not to exceed $5.5 million, but it's expected to come in significantly less, and we can only borrow what the actual costs are plus a 6% contingency. So what you're being asked to approve is to authorize it at the maximum amount that was authorized, but it'll ultimately be based on the actual bid. So we can only borrow what the actual cost will be based on the bids.
And what is the actual cost?
Well, we think it's going to be somewhere around $3 million, but we don't know where that is until the state reviews the applications and the information. As you may know, the bids were just received in the last 2 weeks. Application was sent to the state last week in accordance with their deadlines, so it's not till the end of the month that they give us what that number is.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
I noticed that we have to pledge our future revenue sharing monies
Yeah.
toward this. Is that an automatic thing? I mean, will we automatically be turning that back over to the state, or is that just in case we don't make the
In
payment?
case of. So one of the things, the nice features of this program is that by doing that, you don't have to pay extra for a rating analysis and rating review. So that's really there as kind of backup security. In the event for some reason the city was late on a payment or the system didn't have the revenues, that would allow you to satisfy their financing criteria in doing that. So that's only in case of non-payment. So that's not expected to be an issue, but it allows you to essentially satisfy the requirements without having to pay any extra costs.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions? Okay, roll call vote, Ms. Franks?
Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kendall?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 2, CWSRF Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program, Contract 1, Open Cut Repairs, number 180-382. Mayor and Council, we recently accepted bids for the CWSRF Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program, Open Cut Repairs for the construction of the proposed sanitary sewer system improvements. This project involves the sectional removal and replacement of defective sanitary sewers, primarily within city right-of-way at 17 locations. The award of this bid is contingent upon successful financial arrangements with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, CWSRF. The city engineer's bid tabulation and recommendation are attached. I concur with their recommendation that the bid be awarded to Strata Underground of Clinton Township, Michigan, Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
a resolution to tentatively award the contract for construction of the proposed sanitary sewer system improvements under Contract 1, open cut repairs to Strata Underground of Clinton Township, Michigan, in the amount of $467,809.80, contingent upon successful financial arrangements with the CWSRF.
Or,
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor? Quick question regarding these 17 locations. Now, if we have, if this is being based on our 30-year loan, I presume that at some point in the future, we may need to have some other locations repaired or replaced. And so I'm curious, will this funding be able to be used for other places? You know, if we're making money on these bonds or whatever, I don't know how that operates.
Ryan?
So the 17 locations have already been reviewed. For all three contracts, the repairs that are being done are based upon the sewer cleaning and televising that the city does annually. So we're trying to catch up on that. Every year we do a repair program that's roughly $100,000, $150,000 worth of sewer lining that we do every year. And that's not enough to keep up. So this program is going to help us catch up with some of these locations that have been hanging out there for a while, basically. So with this program, there's 17 locations that are primarily within city road right-of-way. The next contract, there's 18 locations. Those are primarily within the rear yard, or rear yard sewers. And then the third is the sewer lining program, where we have several locations throughout the city where we're trying to catch up with those repairs on the sewer lining. Those are sewers that are cracked, broken. They haven't collapsed. They're in need of repair, but we want to catch those and do that sewer lining before it gets any worse, because then the cost could be 2 to 3 times more by doing an open cut repair versus a lining. But this program will not allow us to add any additional locations as I think we're about to start the cleaning and televising program here for this year, here in the next week or two. Those locations that we find in that program will have to be done under a future program, whether it's the city's annual program or the city does in the future go after another SRF loan.
So we're reasonably confident that once these 17 locations are done, we'll be able to afford to maintain other areas of the city at that point?
That's our hope, is that we're trying to get to that, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
I was amazed at the difference in some of these bids. I mean, the winning bid came in at $123,000 under the next bid, which is a lot of money. You've worked with these companies. We're confident in.
I did have a discussion with the low bidder on contract 1, which their low bid was significantly lower than the other bids, and they were confident that they would be able to complete this project with that bid, because I did question that with them.
Any other questions, discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Franks. Thank you, Ryan. You might want to sit near.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes?
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 3, CWSRF Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program, contract number 2. Open cut repairs number 180-383. Mayor and Council, we recently accepted bids for the CWSRF Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program. Open cut repairs for the construction of the proposed sanitary sewer system improvements. This project involves the sectional removal and replacement of defective sanitary sewers, primarily within rear yard easements at 18 locations. The award of this bid is contingent upon successful financial arrangements with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, CWSRF. The city engineer's bid tabulation and recommendation are attached. I concur with their recommendation that the bid be awarded to HMC LLC of Troy, Michigan. Mayor, a resolution, is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to tentatively award the contract for construction of the proposed sanitary sewer system improvements under contract 2, open cut repairs to HMC LLC of Troy, Michigan, and the amount of $828,024.30, contingent upon successful financial arrangements with the CWSRF.
Okay. Support, who?
Support, did anybody say it?
You support?
Support, yes.
Okay, any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes?
On our page 148, which is the resolution, there seems to be an error in the third whereas paragraph, where it identifies the city of East Point as being the one that sought and received construction bids. I assume that should say Harper Woods. I also understand maybe that AEW might be working with East Point.
Yeah, that is an error. As you can see, I'm also working on a loan with East Point at the same time here. So yes, that is an error. It should be Harper Woods.
Okay, I thought that might need to be corrected.
So noted correction.
Yeah.
That it's, instead of East Point, it should be Harper Woods.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a quick question about the 18 locations. So are these homes or businesses? Because I see it says primarily within rear yard easements. So,
They're primarily behind homes. There's several locations in the city where the sanitary sewer is along the back property line. So we will have to, there are utility easements there to gain access back there. Those are more costly repairs. In some cases, we got to remove fence. There's more restoration involved. We may have to ask, I've had instances where there's pools, different things in the way. They're in the city's utility easements. They're not supposed to be there, but those rear yard easements, those repairs can be more costly, and that's why you see the cost is higher on this one too.
okay. And how were these yards identified? They were...
Same as the other contract through the cleaning and televising that we do annually. We evaluate those television records. We receive those once the contractor's done with the project every year. We evaluate those and prioritize the locations where we find defects. With the SRF, we do the defects that we do find. We rate them 1 through 5, 5 being the worst. The SRF program will allow you to address all defects that are 4s and 5s. So that's what we're doing here, is addressing all the 4s and 5s that are still out there, which are the high and critical locations.
All right, thank you.
Yes?
Same question about the list. This one came in at $152,000 less than the next bid, which is, and actually they bid the last one and came in second, but
Yes.
yeah, once again,
Same
are we
thing.
confident?
Same thing. We had a discussion with this contractor as well too. We worked with this contractor numerous times on similar work.
Any further discussion? Yes, Cheryl.
Maybe we got a discount because we went in with East Point, I don't know. So we've had a lot of issues with roots coming in through the city sewers and then going up into people's home sewer lines and blocking their sewer lines coming from the city sewers. Will this help prevent that?
We're not doing any root control as part of this program. There could be some root issues with some of the repairs. Some root issues may be addressed through this, but we're more so looking at structural defects, which could have roots as well with the structural defects. But roots themselves, this does not get addressed with this program. The city does have a root control program. We do work with a company that does do some root control program annually as well.
Any further questions? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilman Toussaint,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, brings us to new business item number 4, CWSRF Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program, Contract Number 3, CIPP Lining Program Number 180-384. Mayor and Council, we recently accepted bids for the CWSRF Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program cured-in-place lining for the construction of the proposed sanitary sewer system improvements. This project involves installing a full-length or sectional length of cured-in-place pipe, CIPP liner, in various sanitary sewers that were recently cleaned and telephized and identified in poor condition. The award of this bid is contingent upon successful financial arrangements with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, CWSRF. The city engineer's bid tabulation and recommendation are attached. I concur with the recommendation that the bid be awarded to Palmer Enterprise, Inc. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Make the resolution to tentatively award the contract for construction of the proposed sanitary sewer system improvements under Contract 3 CIPP lining to Palmer Enterprises, Inc. of New Haven, Michigan in the amount of $540,003.25, contingent upon successful financial arrangements with the CWSRF.
Support.
All right. Any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All righty.
Brings us to new business item number 5, progress payment number 1, 2026 Storm Sewer Repair Project number 180-389. Mayor and Council, attached is a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 1 on the 2026 Storm Sewer Repair Project number 180-389. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor? I'll offer the resolution to approve payment to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions LLC in the amount of $203,096.28 for progress payment number 1 on the 2026 Storm Sewer Repair Project number 180-389.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 6, progress payment number 2, 2025 Sidewalk Replacement Program TAP Grant. Mayor and Council, attached is an invoice that represents the city's portion of the TAP Grant Sidewalk Program. This grant money was used for the removal and replacement of sidewalks throughout the city and within the city right-of-way that were damaged or heaved due to tree roots that created a trip hazard for residents and business. The cement work was finished and a considerable amount of cleanup that many areas of the city experience has been remedied to our satisfaction by the contractor. It is recommended that this invoice be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
my resolution to approve the payment to the Michigan Department of Transportation in the amount of $12,133.83 for the city's proportionate share of the TAP Grant Sidewalk Program.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor? So, the sidewalks look really good, but they did kind of a sketchy job with putting the grass and the dirt and everything back together around the outside edges of the residents. How is that being handled?
We did have some difficulty with this contractor with getting the restoration completed. I did have staff go through and check all the locations here recently. The majority of them have been addressed. There are still a few out there that need to be readdressed. We did notify that contractor last week on that, and we hope to have that resolved. We are still holding some money on this project for that to be completed.
Okay, good.
Brian, is this the same people, the Santos?
Santos.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Yeah.
Madam Mayor.
Yeah,
Has the city expressed our displeasure with this contractor to the state? Because I know this, we're paying the state back.
right.
So as part of with any project we have with the state, as part of the closeout process, we do have to complete a evaluation of the prime contractor as well as the subcontractors that worked for them, and we will definitely be offering our displeasure to the state on that, yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, brings us to new business item number 7, progress payment number 8, 2024, DWSRF lead water service replacement number 180-331. Mayor and Council, attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 8 on the 2024 DWSRF lead water service replacement project number 180-331. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor? A resolution to approve payment to Super Construction LLC for the amount of $165,604.50 for progress payment number 8 on the 2024 DWSRF lead water service replacement project number 180-331.
Support.
Anybody support?
Support.
She did.
Oh, Foster did, I didn't hear you. Okay, any discussion?
You know, I'm
Okay,
gonna ask the question.
okay, go ahead.
Lead water service. I know that a number of locations in the city have been identified and now are being corrected. Is this program basically finalizing, or are we continuing on?
Very near the end, very near.
Yeah, so this program, when we bid it out in 2024, addressed all lead services that were known at that time. So we are now complete with those locations. There's still some restoration work that needs to be done at about a dozen locations, which the contractor should be working on here in the next week, and then we can close out this project. But there are some lead services that are still out there, some stragglers out there that do get replaced through the DPW as they find them.
So does that mean that every now and then one might crop up?
That is correct. We had one crop up here a couple days ago, yes.
Okay, and is that tested because of that water program that the city is doing where they ask residents to test their water?
Yeah, we're finding out where lead services are. There's a few things. That's one. Two, if there's a meter change out or if there's any issue with a meter, we're taking note. DPW is taking note of what the material of the services coming into the house. The city we did get grant money a few years ago to do a random sampling around the city where we hydro excavated around the curb stop box outside in the front of the house behind the sidewalk. We hydro excavated there to see what the material was. That's what led us to this program, is that we were able to identify there were 126 services at that time that we found that needed to be replaced. We haven't hydro excavated every location. That's why there's probably some still out there that we don't know
We're
about.
reasonably confident that we've caught most of this.
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
good. All right, thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 8, Vernier Road water main repairs. Mayor and Council, attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting 2 invoices for professional services in conjunction with repairs made to the Vernier Road water main. As his memo states, this water main continues to experience breaks as it has surpassed its useful life. It is located underneath the eastbound lanes of Vernier Road and requires significant traffic control and restoration each time a break occurs. In March and June of this year, we contracted with Great Lakes Contracting Solution, who are also under contract for the storm sewer repair project with the city, to make the necessary repairs. We have been aggressively seeking grants for the complete replacement of this water main and have recently been awarded a grant for the design and specs portion for this project. We will continue to seek funding for the construction phase. I have reviewed the invoices as submitted, and I concur with our engineers that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
by resolution to approve payment to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions LLC in the amount of $51,939.21 for the repairs made to the Veneer Road water main.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor? I noticed that in the explanation, our city manager identified some grants that will go toward design and specs, but this does not have anything to, I mean, this payment here has nothing to do with those potential future. We're not giving it to the same company, or?
That is correct. I don't want to say it might be helpful, but as far as getting grants, I mean, that might be, having these water main breaks gives you a better chance of possibly getting some grants. And we're trying, I mean, we've applied several different avenues to try and get grant money to do the construction. We did get a grant to do the design. We're in the process of designing the replacement of the water main and should be complete with that next month, which should also help by having a shovel-ready project. A lot of these grant programs give extra points, or they are looking for a shovel-ready project, so that when grant money is awarded, we can go right to, go right to.
We're not
construction.
committed toward Great Lakes contracting for
We are
those
not.
programs? Okay.
We are not.
I just wanted to make sure it had no relation.
Yeah. All right. Roll call vote, Ms. Franks?
Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 9, residential cross-connection program. Mayor and council, the Michigan Residential Cross-Connection Program is a state-mandated initiative requiring local municipalities to identify, eliminate, or control plumbing arrangements that could allow contaminants to backflow into the public drinking water supply. The state of Michigan requires inspections, water testing, and compliance costs. The initial inspection is free, but property owners will be responsible for any installation, repair, and annual or semi-annual testing of backflow assemblies. Repairs must be completed by a licensed plumber, and assemblies must be certified by a certified tester. HydroCore currently provides the cross-connection control for non-residential customers and has prepared a service agreement to provide this service for our residential customers. The total cost of the program is $371,404.59 and is based on a 60-month term. The first year is $68,571.36, and the last year is $80,218.79. I have asked our city engineer to be on hand for any questions, and a slide presentation will be provided at the meeting. It is my recommendation that this service agreement be approved, and we'll have a slide presentation.
Make the resolution.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money,
Ryan, do you want to get a resolution first?
I'll make the resolution. To approve the 5-year service agreement between the City of Harper Woods and HydroCorp for the state-mandated residential cross-connection program in the amount of $371,404.59, and further to authorize the city manager to sign the agreement.
Support. Any discussion? Well, we'll wait till after the slide.
So HydroCorp put together this slide presentation for the city. I guess just to give a quick background before I go into that, and probably more so, I could probably give more background than what's actually in the slide presentation, but the city has been doing a cross-connection program with the non-residential customers for quite some time. It's been in this Public Act 399, Part 14, since 1979, that communities have been required to do a cross-connection control program. But the state has only, I don't want to say mandatory, but the cities, or the state has been making the cities do the non-residential part and has not really pushed for communities to do the residential customers. In 2015, that public act became stricter, and Eagle, at that time the DEQ, started making the community start doing residential inspections. Periodically, Eagle comes to the communities to do what they call a sanitary survey on the water distribution system. The city had that with the DPW staff here a couple months ago, maybe 6 weeks ago or so, and that did come up in the sanitary survey that the city needs to start doing a residential cross-connection program along with their non-residential program. HydroCorp is really the only local company that does that type of work. There's other companies out there that do that nationally. Most of the communities around here do use HydroCorp for their residential or for their non-residential programs. I can tell you other communities in the area that I work with have also in the last year, Eagle has also gotten on them to start doing residential cross-connection programs. It's required that the city goes through all the residences within a 3-year period. HydroCorp basically does all the work. They do all the administrative costs. I mean, that's a large burden for the DPW to add this program. There's a lot of administrative tasks involved with this. In many cases, the first inspection is not going to pass because we haven't inspected residential customers to make sure that they have backflow prevention and that. So there's a lot of re-inspection that takes place in the beginning of the program. I guess if we start going through the slides here a little bit. You can keep going. HydroCorp just listed some of the critical issues here. Pull this up. I'm just trying to pull up my copy since I can't read the small writing. So like I said, some of the critical issues involve the administrative tasks. It's a huge burden for the DPW, so HydroCorp is able to take on that, be able to notify the customers, do all the reporting, present all the reporting to the city. HydroCorp does all the visual inspections. They'll notify the city and the residents if there's any non-compliance that needs to be followed through and exactly what needs to be done. And they have, HydroCorp has their own software program that they keep track of all these records too, and then we get all that reporting, and then we can report that back to Eagle so that Eagle's aware of what we're doing and that we're compliant with the Public Act. We continue on. Let's go a couple here. Like I said, HydroCorp, again, they do all the work, they do all the public awareness, notifications, on-site inspections, all the enforcement is done, all the program management, everything is done through HydroCorp. If you continue on, I keep going. This is an example of what the inspection notice would look like to the residents. And then the next slide shows an example of what the report would look like that would come to the city that would outline exactly what was where inspections took place, what was inspected, what the issues are that need to be addressed, when re-inspections would take place. We continue on to the next slide. This slide kind of goes over what the interior survey, there's an interior survey that would take place. It's less than 30 minutes. The resident would have to comply with that survey, basically let us know what their system is at their home. If they have an irrigation system, we would need to know that. We would need to test that too for backflow prevention and so forth. The next slide kind of shows what the findings are across Michigan as far as with the first inspection. What are the issues that are found within the, what's the most common thing that's found in the first inspection? In this area, it usually has to do with the irrigation system, that there's not a backflow prevention of some sort on the irrigation system. And then the next couple slides just give examples of what a violation notice would look like. That notice would give examples of what, or specifically state what needs to take place in order to become compliant. And then there's also a detailed report that comes to the city for each location as to what those violations are. And then there's other notices on the next few slides too that the city also receives. I don't know if there's really much else within the PowerPoint that's real helpful. It does go over what the fees are. So the first year fee is just over $68,000 for them to do the residential program, and then there's a 4% increase in the cost each year for the next 5 years, which comes out to that total of $371,000 and some change. There's really two reasons why we would need a cross-connection control program, and there's the potential for contamination in the system. There could be pressure fluctuations within the system that causes that backflow of water outside of the out of the residence back into the system. Pressure changes being if there is firefighting that's taking place, a water main break, maybe there's a pressure spike within the system, or if there's some sort of pressure issue within the house itself that may cause water to push out of the system as well and cause cross-contamination. That's really a summary of what the program is. Unfortunately, it's another unfunded state mandate. I know we don't like to hear that, but.
I do have a question. Okay, so generally speaking, what you've seen in other communities or what HydroCorp might be seeing in other communities, are we reasonably confident that most people will need to have this done? Or do we have homes that have backflow, restrictions already in place?
Yeah, each home will have to be inspected. Within a 3-year period, every home will have to be inspected. There are probably several homes out there that do have backflow prevention, and that inspection will note that they have that backflow prevention system.
Out of curiosity, because all of us are homeowners, what do we expect to pay if we have to have this put in?
That I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have an idea what that cost would be.
Okay, I just don't want it to be an ouch.
Yeah.
Not that we can prevent it.
Right. Now, the non-residential program that's been going on with the city for years, the city DPW handles that program, and our office is not involved with that.
Thank you.
Cheryl?
So are we providing the backflow preventers to people, or they gotta
No.
buy them? Because they've raised the price on them. They're like $16 now per backflow preventer
It would be up to the residents
for
to.
like every single hose and everything. And I've found, like, I've put them on all my houses, and then when I come back, they're missing because they're a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it would be the residents that would be, the resident would be the one that would have to purchase a backflow preventer.
Doesn't this say it's required?
Wait. You've had Jerry.
First, I'm going to pre-thank anyone working at DPW or City Hall and be prepared for a lot of angry residents.
Yes.
Because if you go by what the Mom Swap says, which is a pretty good cross of people living in the points, they were pretty angry with, one, they didn't believe that the letter was coming from a valid source. They thought it was, then they would go on and go, anyone got this letter? And then hopefully other people will help them out. So that was part of the problem. And yeah, it was mostly, I know a local landscape company that had to contract with a plumber to help with they could not handle all
Yes.
so yes, be prepared. But a lot of times it is just that thing that goes on the outside
Yes,
spigots
right.
if you do not have a
Right.
irrigation system. But I do pre-thank anyone in City Hall and at DPW for the phone calls that will be coming.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Teresa.
it states here the critical issues. Are we going to be hiring employees for this? Because it states here that Heather says
No, we would not be hiring.
manpower would be a challenge.
Right, that's one of the critical issues, is that if the city were to take this project in-house and handle it in-house, you would need additional manpower, but that's why we're hiring HydroCorp, is to do all the work for the city.
Making sure.
Yep.
Now may I ask?
Yeah,
My understanding from the material here is that a certified plumber needs to be the one that installs this, so we can't just do it ourselves. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
This is going into the sewer system as opposed to connections on individual,
It'd be
faucets?
connections of your water system from the outside into your house.
so from the city's water
Yes.
pipe into our house?
Yes,
And
correct.
so they'd have to get into the pipe.
They may, yes.
So we're not, I mean, you know, Ms. Costantino says she's putting these things on her house, but she's just doing stuff at the
That could be a
faucet
recommendation
level.
too, but there should be a backflow prevention of some sort where the water is coming into the house,
But
yes.
we need a plumber for this.
Yes, correct.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay, thank you.
question. Yes, go ahead.
So, when the residents do have a certified plumber, they're gonna get like a note from the plumber stating that he's certified? To present it? Or they're just gonna say, I have a plumber that's gonna do it?
So once the inspection takes place, and then a notice is given to that resident stating what needs to be done, it would say in that notice if it's something that needs a certified plumber, and then it would be up to the resident to come up with a certified plumber, right? I don't know if the city has, I don't know, I mean, there might be a list of local certified plumbers possibly, but I don't know if there is or not.
So Ryan, you're saying that every house in Harper Woods has to have this done?
Yes.
Can you tell me, is Fraser Square already aware of this and doing?
That's a good question. That's a good question. That's something we can look into.
Yeah, that's something we might want to look
Yes.
into since they're building over there.
Yes.
So, Madam Mayor, so my question is, a few years ago, the water department came through and they took out our water pipes and they put them like on the outside. So the ones that's on the outside, do they have them already in it, or this is something completely
I
new?
couldn't answer that. I don't know on that. I'm guessing that's probably from the water meter change out, but I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yes.
Alrighty,
Madam
then.
Mayor?
State mandated, right? Okay,
Yeah, I don't know whose idea this was. This is gonna be very difficult to enforce. And I don't know if the state's aware of this extreme shortage of plumbers. I mean, it is really hard to find a plumber. Every millionaire I know right now is a plumber, because there's such a shortage of plumbers that they just make so much money. But it's hard to get one. You get on their list, it could take like a month to get a plumber to come to your house nowadays.
We have the same issue with the lead service replacement program too, because that also requires a certified plumber too. So I mean, fortunately, Harper Woods doesn't have very many lead services, but there's communities around you that have several thousand lead services that have to be replaced, and that ties up a plumber too.
alrighty then. Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank?
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 10, proposal for engineering services water reliability study. Mayor and Council, attached is a proposal from Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, Inc. to update the water reliability study that has been mandated by the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, EGLE. The proposal from AEW outlines the scope of the project, which includes flow testing of hydrant valves, update existing water demand conditions, and develop future water demand projections and hydraulic analysis to detect deficiencies, among others. I have reviewed this with the Public Works Superintendent and our engineer, Ryan Kerr, and I concur with the recommendation that we accept the proposal from AEW and proceed with the preparation of this study. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
By resolution, accept the proposal from Anderson, Eckstein, and Westwick Inc. for the preparation of Eagle mandated water reliability study in the amount of $23,400.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Franks.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 11, financial institution for the investment of city funds. Mayor and council, attached is a request to add Michigan Cooperative Liquid Assets Security System, or Michigan CLAS, as an investment institution for the investment of city funds. As a municipality, we are very limited and restricted on how city funds can be invested. Michigan CLAS is a local government investment pool that prioritizes safety, liquidity, convenience, and a competitive yield. The city, for years, could never invest surplus funds because, quite frankly, they did not exist. Due to changes our Treasury has made over the past few years and new agreements with our main bank, the city is now receiving interest revenue between $13,000 and $15,000 per month, approximately $160,000 per year. This revenue stream would be the target for the additional investment income through Michigan CLAS once our city adopts this financial carrier and the city finalizes the writing of an investment policy. This step is the first in a two-part process. The deputy city manager will be writing an investment policy based on guidelines from the Government Finance Officers Association. You will be asked to approve the policy once it is complete. No funds will be invested until the policy is complete and improved. It is recommended that we approve the Michigan CLAS investment pool. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor, I'll offer the resolution to approve the Michigan CLASS investment pool as an authorized investment institution, authorizes the treasurer to complete the necessary paperwork to enroll in the pool, and approve the addition of Michigan CLASS to the investment policy.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor? Yeah, I just had a quick question about, I think it's on page 212, where they show you a representation of the investments, what we could have made if we were invested in 2024. So the 2 years that they show is 23, 24, and this is 26 now. 25, a lot has changed about so much in the stock market and so forth. So I was wondering about the investments currently. Is it still the same, or is it, because I'm 2020, a lot has happened, so.
Okay, essentially what this does is we're getting a little better than passbook rates. We never had cash balances, surplus cash balances, that's for sure. We're getting, I want to say, investment earnings that are more than offsetting our banking service charges now. And the types of investments we would be looking at would be maybe weekend loans that are very common with local governments, county governments, where they may float a loan to a bank, where they have Federal Reserve managers come in to ensure a deposit and then pay back the loan. We certainly would not be investing any city money in stock markets. They would be very, very safe, liquid investments, investments that if we had to cash them in on the spot, we wouldn't be paying severe penalties. And certainly, we're looking at we're certain to try this program with a revenue stream of about $160,000 just to see how it works for us. And that's what we're asking here. We think we can make some more money on idle cash, but we can't do that until we have a suitable, I want to say, investment carrier and a policy. And the policy is going to be the next thing that we work on, if the council approves this tonight.
Madam Mayor. I did look up Michigan Class, and I was, assured by the fact that they have a AAA rating, and that they've done a number of investments with local communities throughout the state that seem to be pretty good sources for those communities. So it sounds to me as if it would be a valuable service for our city.
Yeah, it's too bad we weren't able to do this sooner. We could have made a lot more money, but,
We'd have the money then. Okay.
yeah, better late than never. Would we be able to, if we're making this exterior revenue, would we be able to lower our tax levy further or more substantially? Because we're still carrying way too high of a tax levy right now.
Yeah, every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. You know, we run the city like you run your household. You got to take in more money than you spend, and that's what we have been doing. We have been having some severe challenges, you know, with the water main breaks and the enormous cost of the water main breaks and unexpected. Those are things that you absolutely can't budget for. You never know when they're going to pop. But in answer to your question, if we can bundle up alternative ways of investing our cash, certainly we want to lower the taxes, and we have been doing that for the last 3 years.
Right.
Other communities are slipping in taxes that get into our tax bill. We drop a couple of mills, and I see that some other local agencies kick their mills up,
Yeah.
you know, 1/4% here, 0.5% there, kind of filling up the gap. So it's frustrating, but yes, we are doing everything we can to lower taxes.
Any other discussion? Anyone? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank?
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 12, Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund, election of fund trustees. Mayor and council, attached is a notice from the Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund regarding their annual election of trustees. I recommend that we cast our votes for those persons submitted on the ballot. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make the motion to cast the city's vote for the following persons to serve on the Board of Trustees of the Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund. Harry Burdette, Mayor of Springfield, Brad Gursky, Vice Mayor of St. John's, Jonathan Sayforth, Manager of Muskegon.
Support?
Yeah, Foster did.
Foster.
Oh, okay. Foster? Any discussion? Because I'm just got on some board. I think this is the board I just got on. Okay. All right. Roll call? Motion?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm tired now. Okay. Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries.
Okay, new business item number 13, opposition to House Bills 5529, 5532,
Yes.
5581, and 5585. Mayor and council, we have been asked to express our strong opposition to the passage of House Bills 5529, 5532, 5581, and 5585, which would strip local control from city governments regarding zoning and abide by regulations set forth by the state. The vote is scheduled this week, and it is an extreme measure that would make it virtually impossible for local governments to deny zoning based on infrastructure strain, neighborhood character, decline in property values, or public safety concerns. These series of bills are being driven primarily by real estate developers and not citizens. It is recommended that the mayor and council sign each letter in opposition, and I have them right here. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Before I offer this resolution, I have a question, and that is, I noticed Senator Mary Kavanaugh, who may or may not be related to our Assistant City Manager, but our own senator is not listed here, and I think that maybe Senator Hertel should also be included?
They both know our feeling. We both have talked and expressed the fact that we are in opposition of these bills. They're very, very, very well aware of that, yeah.
I'm just curious as to why we're not mailing.
I don't understand why he's not on there either, because he's been in, along with us at every juncture
Right.
to protest this.
Well, then
So
I
I don't
will
understand
include
why
his
he's
name.
not there. His name is not there.
So I'll offer the resolution to authorize the mayor and city council on behalf of the city of Harper Woods to sign the joint letter opposing the following House bills: 5529 through 5532 and 5581 through 5585, and further to forward the letters to Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Senator Mary Kavanaugh, and Senator Kevin Hertel.
Support.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
this is a House bill, so we should be sending a letter also to our state representative, Veronica Pies.
This means it's past the House.
It's past the House.
Okay.
It's going to, that's why we're trying to prevent it from going to the Senate, because after that, it goes to the governor's desk.
Yikes.
Any further discussion? It's a resolution. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right.
And that concludes the city manager's reports.
Ooh, these long summer meetings. All the month of business in one meeting. Okay. So call the audience if you're still here. Please step up and state your case.
I got a few cases to state. First thing is we need an ordinance officer in this city. I went driving around and I was disgusted. Landlords are kicking tenants out and they're throwing all their trash on the boulevard. City ordinance states the landlord's supposed to provide a dumpster on the driveway, not put it on us. That's the first thing. The second thing is our trash. Something better be done now, because there's only 2 companies that pick up trash, and one of them might not even want to come into Harper Woods, because Waste Management only does commercial. They do not do residential anymore, because I don't think nobody here knows how to negotiate a contract. You don't negotiate an 8-year contract. I was a union steward twice, got the best contracts our company had. Now, the third thing, and this is where my voice might raise. Friday we had that storm, not this past, but the one before that. Thank God the tree fell, the wire fell, and our street was closed for 3 days. No speeding or nothing. Monday, count them, 16 trucks lined the whole street, but they weren't from our state, they were from Indiana helping us out. They blocked the street off, they cut the wire, took it down. The minute they took the trucks away unblocked, these people were speeding down, these guys are trying to get in their trucks. Almost got killed. Now, that was Monday. Tuesday, DT Energy comes out, they park their trucks, they're putting up the wire. There's a truck parked right diagonally of me and I'm cutting my grass. This is where my voice might get raised because I'm very mad. I'm cutting my grass and they're beeping their horn and I'm going, what's going on? And I'm continuing. This guy zigzagged, doing 70 miles an hour down the street, came that close, a half an inch, and I would have been dead. Dead! So I'm informing you, every one of you. My attorney's got all this information. The guys that were in that truck signed and all this information. If something happens to me, this city's gonna owe me so much money. My great nieces and nephews are gonna be getting paid from you people. This has gotta stop. This is baloney. 2 years ago, Mayor, you sat right there in that seat and you said, this is your exact words, Yes. Myself and my public safety officer, we have a plan, but we're working on it. 2 years, nothing. And this happens every day on this street. And this is another thing. When those guys were doing the tree over there, trimming it, it's still sitting there since last Tuesday, because what happened? These people were speeding down, almost hitting these people. They called the police department. The guy says, and I'm standing right there when they called, "What do you want us to do about it?" So they called your dispatcher, well, I don't want to say the words.
Your time is up, please.
But, well, I'm just telling you, they're not coming
Your
back.
time is up.
That's fine. But mark my words, I get hit. That's it. You don't want to do anything. Spike strips, nails,
Next
glass.
person, if you want to speak. If not, we'll close it out, go to city council.
Margaret Pointer. Often at council meetings, we're encouraged to call DPW directly or email them if we have a concern. I had a concern. I emailed them on last Wednesday. My email was courteous and positive, but I let them know what my concern was. They responded within 2 hours. They said, we're gonna take care of it. This is how it's gonna happen, and everything they said happened. And today the problem is gone. So I thought I'd let everybody know that it worked.
It's the fan.
Greg Bargo, 20210 Woodland. I'd like to address the old business, that was asked for a text amendment to the MU2 district, okay, to allow for drive-throughs. Now, the city has a planning commission, 9 members, whose their primary business is tasked for the best use and principles of land use in the city. What ties to that is a master plan with a map that establishes districts. And the districts are usually designed as buffers, with the most severe being regional commercial. Then you go down to, I'll be simple about it, to, let's say, offices, and then multiple units, building, and then residential. It's very simple. So what came to task is the gentleman with the marijuana dispensary. His business was in a general business at the time. Okay, so over the years, and I was a member of the planning commission when we were doing studies well before the master plan was even visited for new adoption about the Kelly Road corridor. What would be done to make it more pedestrian friendly, usable? But that means it has to be less intense use, less cars, more people walking. But when you have drive-throughs promote automobiles. So what I'm going to suggest is this text amendment was left open. The way it was voted on, it was wide open. Are you going to suggest to the planning consultant to make a text amendment? Or what I would suggest, in which case, if you do that, all those businesses in MU2, which by design promotes pedestrian or oriented commercial walkable district. I would suggest no text amendment, but allow this gentleman a special use tied to his building, and that's it. But you would have to have language to that, because I didn't hear any of that to where it says, are you going to make a text amendment or aren't you? So I would say the council should vote to give him a special use. And then you don't have to change the MU2, because all it's going to do is promote more traffic, automobile traffic, and not pedestrian, which is what the whole purpose was of that new district. Thank you.
Good evening, council. Have a couple of things. First of all, to the drive-through, I think the gentleman should get it. Now, I believe he also sells medical marijuana and medical marijuana stuff. We have CVS. Guess what? They have a drive-through. Why are we denying this? If CVS has a drive-through, he should be able to have one also. And if you're going to shut him down, then you need to shut down the drive-through at CVS. You already have it there, but yet you're denying it, and the state is allowing it. Okay? The other thing is, I applaud you for hiring, Heather's not here tonight, a person that goes around and does the lawn. But guess what? It's not being good enough. I suggest every one of you come down to my end and go up and down the street and see how many houses are being tagged and how many houses aren't being cut. Or they play the game and wait till they're tagged and then they cut the front but don't cut the back. 19, 119 and 127. 27, his backyard is 3 feet high. On Woodside, that's Ross Common. On Woodside, I cut a house on Woodcrest that backs up to the house on 19207. It's 5 feet high in the back. So when what needs to happen is we need to tell new appearance, when they check these houses, they need to check the backs also. Not just the fronts, and do the backs. Thank you.
I just want to get up here and thank you guys for your time, attention, consideration. Whether you agree or disagreed with what I'm proposing, you still all gave me a fair shake, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the audience members who came up in support and had good things to say, kind words. It's refreshing. You guys have a thankless job, but I am thankful for all of you. With open dialogue and good communication, there's nothing that can't be resolved. It's conversation, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Good evening, David Rocco, 20292 Buffet. I got a question about trees. I know there's a lot of, we have a city of trees. There's trees on the tree lawn. A lot of them are dying. I couldn't get the city to come out and cut mine down, so I cut it down myself. But what I'm noticing is, in that tree lawn, there's a lot of no trees. Those trees are being taken down, but they're not being put back up. Nobody's planting new trees. So I'm wondering, in 50 years, we're not gonna have any trees in the city. So I'm wondering, do we have a plan, or would somebody want to address a plan to replant trees? Second thing I would also say, I'm a walker, so I walk around the city a lot. I dodge trees and bushes and garages that I think are going to fall onto the sidewalk. And these aren't garages in the back of somebody's house. These are garages on Dupre and Lancaster. The garage door's falling off. There's vines growing all over the fence, coming out onto the sidewalk. Do we have somebody that goes around and says, hey, that's against city ordinance? I heard somebody say we need an ordinance officer. I would second that. So I would be willing to talk to any one of you. I'll go around and tell people they got to cut their shrubs, but I'm not authorized to do that. So that's all. Thank you.
Can't have citizens doing it. Thank you. All right. All right, call the council, starting with you, Councilwoman Constantino.
Okay, first of all, we had a very nice jazz concert. It was a super hot day, but it was inside. I would have liked to see more people there, but it was really fun to come in and watch the concert and see my neighbor go up and sing, and her voice was like velvet. It was beautiful. Anyway, I do like the idea of having more transparency with the sponsorships and post-event synopsis and things like that. So I would like to see that because I think these events are great, but it takes a little while to get things off the ground. I did notice though, our PR company got us a television interview, and so I got to see the interview on TV, and that gave us some good publicity. Let's see, I like the idea about the special use tied to the building, but I'm not sure if we can get away with that or not, but we should check into it for sure. I think it's a great idea, especially since he already has the drive-through, because not a lot of places are built to have a drive-through. Okay. Also, I think we do have an ordinance officer, don't we? I was at a rental house, and these people were being evicted, and they had trash all over their lawn. So I went there, and I was picking up all the trash. This lady came, and she handed me a notice, and she says if it wasn't cleaned up by Friday, she was going to give us a ticket. And so I cleaned up a bunch of it, and then actually it was Mr. Shenburn who came and cleaned. Are you guys cleaned it up? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys cleaned up the rest, because when I came back, it was nice and cleaned up. I appreciate that. But, yeah, people shouldn't be able to get away with having trashy lawns. That's just terrible. Anyway, I do have another concern going through this whole process. It took about 8 months to get these people evicted. And in the meantime, they hadn't paid their water bill in 13 months. And finally, the city shut off their water. I wish they would have done it sooner, except they didn't tell me they were shutting off the water. They just posted a notice on the door. It seems to me that the owner of the house should be advised that the water is being shut off. So, because it was an additional $200 charge, that cost me about $1,200 to get the water turned back on. But, I mean, it was a whole drama for a long time. So, I mean, the water should have been shut off sooner, but also I should have been informed at the same time. And I do think it should be standard that the owner is also informed. They got a notice on the door. Well, they don't pay their rent, they don't pay their water, they don't pay their utilities. Are they going to tell me they have a notice on the door? Probably not. Okay? So, okay, I think I'm going to stop there because we had a long enough meeting talking about plumbing and sewers today. Mr. Ivory, I defer to you.
Okay, I'm too bad Mr. Kavanaugh's not in here. But as far as Juneteenth was concerned, I think this is one of the most professionally held ones we've ever had. Everything, all the dots seem to be dotted and all the, I's are dotted and whatever. And it just seemed to flow so well. I mean, they had the big tent there, which I thought was very important because it prepared us whether it was raining or too sunny. We had the largest turnout that I've ever seen, coming from different places. A junior mayor program, we had representation from just about, from all of the points also. One child couldn't make it, so the mayor pro tem actually said it for me. And what I liked about it, it was the mayor pro tems were nice and diverse. So it was kind of like the importance of Juneteenth is not just for black people in slavery, it was period. And they gave all the reasons why Juneteenth was important to them also. So I thought that was really nice to see that, because sometimes I think we forget about civil rights as it affects everybody. Also, the horses worked out to be a good deal. I know there was some question about it quite a bit, but I saw your nephew. So your nephew didn't get on the horse? Oh, I thought I saw him up there. That was somebody else.
Grandson.
Well, that seemed to have worked out pretty good. It wasn't big. Somebody else commented about how big the horses were. And also, like what she was saying about the little jazz concert that we had just recently, they had to move it inside. You know, we do need a better turnout for those things because the talent is really wonderful. The show was nice, and it was very nice because of the relationship that the mayor has also with our superintendent. Well, I have a relationship with him also, most of us do. He was able to accommodate us at the last minute when the weather was bad. And having it in that little alcove with a high school was pretty nice. Actually, the acoustics were better than I expected. So anyway, I'm sure other people will have comments on all these things, and I'll just move on down to Mayor Portel.
All right, thank you. A few things. First of all, I also would like to have information about sponsorships that the city might be receiving for a number of different programs. I think it will be good for the city to be open about the organizations and companies that might be giving us money. Want to keep everything open and above board, and I think that's one very important thing, an important way to do that. Also, for businesses that are sponsoring, it'll allow residents to support those businesses. I noticed at Juneteenth there was a large banner that indicated a number of businesses that were supporting the event.
Right.
And if there was a method of, highlighting those businesses to the community other than on that banner, it might be valuable. We might get more businesses willing to sponsor for the approval of the community.
Well, normally we have a program booklet for Juneteenth. This year, time constraint, and we were not able to print out a program booklet. If you notice, this year it's the first time that I've never had a program, and I always list the sponsors on the program.
But what I'm saying is that if this comes before council, it will have the opportunity for people to know some of the sponsors that are doing various things in the community.
Yeah.
And that includes Beautification Commission. They get sponsors for their programs.
Right.
Other things might as well in the future. So I like that idea. I am going to ask to be removed from the advisory board for the Insider. My name has appeared here for a number of years since this started, but I haven't been advising for at least 2 years, over 2 years. The last time that I was asked to come to a meeting for the advisory board was before we lost Larry Hakeem, because he was also on the advisory board. And quite frankly, I had a number of people upset about some of the information that was in here being not accurate. And I think, you might have heard about the information regarding the Roscommon Pocket Park. The photograph that's in here that really has nothing to do with that park. I heard from a number of people about that. A couple of other things I won't mention, but I am disappointed in some of the misinformation that people have been scolding me about. So I just wanted to mention that. I know that our city has a public relations ordinance that was part of our ordinances since the 1960s. And now that we have a public relations firm and people on board that deal with that firm, one of the things in our public relations ordinance is that we should get monthly reports on what our PR firms are doing for the community, programs and other things that they might be recommending. And so I just thought I'd throw that out there. You can see the ordinance by searching public relations in our city ordinances. Also, as far as the Juneteenth program, I thought it was lovely. I would love to see, and in the past, Mayor, your program always included some elements of history.
Yes.
You told us about, the first year, it was wonderful. You had a reenactor there. Another year, we had the horse, information. This year, the only person that really talked to history was that the minister at the beginning, I just want to throw it out there. I'd love to see more stuff that would involve children. It was lovely to see the mayors, the junior mayors. Of course, that program is beautiful. But something that could help to inform young people more. When I was a teacher, I did a very intensive program for my high school students on Black history, because there were so many girls. It was tragic to me. So many girls who told me they didn't know anything about their history, or their parents didn't want them to be influenced by the past, which shocked me. And so we did some research, and we did some, history, Black history, because there's a lot of that the Black community should be proud of. And I would like to see young people learn at your Juneteenth program, and so just to keep that thought in mind, have some place where they could get a little bit more information than they might just by listening to the beautiful music or whatever. And then once again,
Well, this last Juneteenth, taking on a little bit more of the musical than I have planned in the past, because from the very beginning, Juneteenth to me was, I started off with Porgy and Bess opera in the park, and then I had Mary and Abraham Lincoln was there, and then also Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman in the future years. So I've always done that, and African dances and all that stuff. I have to get back to where my roots were in Juneteenth, and I appreciate the music. The music was fantastic, and the concert. But the reason I started Juneteenth was to educate everyone about Juneteenth, and I need to get back to my roots.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Jerry?
Okay, this Friday, the library is having a novel evening. Tickets are still available. It's from 6 to 8. It's a fundraiser the library is putting on. They're going to do for the community an outdoor space for reading and whatever else. Tickets are $40. They're taking donations put on by the Friends of the Harper Woods Library. I ask for this every month, so here's a statement from DPW. And I know in May, these numbers, like grass cuts, were more than double than this. So just so you know, they tagged 402 grass and ended up having 221 of those had to be cut by new appearance. Special pickups. And I know for a fact that I have called for a special pickup and put stuff on the boulevard, and they have come, taken it, and then I get a bill. In the month of June, they had 75 special pickups. So when you're seeing big piles that might be from a landlord, it doesn't mean that priority is picking it up. It could very well likely be a special pickup that DPW is picking up, and they are being charged on their tax bill. Or I think it goes on their water bill. Yeah. So there was 142 violation notices. That's putting your garbage out too early, too late, things like that. So, and there's some other things on here, and I think going forward, maybe we need Heather to read all of these every month, because there seems to be some misinformation floating around. I also will say that if someone's not cutting their backyard, that it is illegal for us to step on their property, but the next door neighbor can call and say, come in my yard and look at their yard. So if you're seeing that your next door neighbor is not cutting their yard, then call. And I can also say that I have a number of times emailed Safe Built about something I saw. I got a response within hours, and they went out and tagged that house and made them fix whatever was the matter. So maybe, yes, we still need an ordinance officer that's more dedicated, but if you're having a problem, a garage, email Safe Built to give them the address and say, this is what I saw. Safe Built, it's on our city's website, and let them know. I've also done the same thing with something I saw, a police issue, and immediately they've, went out and I've told the resident, you need to send an email, and then I'll get an email back going, thank you. They took care of the problem. So don't always think they're not taking care of the problem. A lot of times they are. So that's all I have.
All right, good evening, everybody. Just a couple of things. On my block, Woodside, we had a block club party, It was really nice, really quiet. But it was a nice little party. The neighbors came out to meet each other, and that was really nice. You know, because we stay in our homes so much, you don't often see your neighbors, and you really should. There was that big storm that we had recently, of that windstorm, and for us, a huge tree, part of it fell into our yard. And so my husband had been out there cutting pieces of the tree, bit by bit by bit, but he can only do, you know, so much. But he was cutting it bit by bit by bit. And one of the really nice things is our neighbor, I mean, somebody just knocked on our door and said, hey, we are here to take care of that tree in the back. And they had been sent by our neighbors. So we do have some really good people out here. We still got really good, nice neighbors, because that was a lot off my husband's shoulders, because he didn't have to do all the extra work anymore. And they paid for it and everything. We didn't have to do anything. Also want to remind everybody that we do have these really, really hot days coming up. Really hot days again, starting tomorrow and all the rest of this week. So please, please, find a cooling center, or if you know seniors, check on the seniors. Stay hydrated. Sometimes you don't realize your body is going into heat exhaustion, because it just, you know, you just start feeling kind of ill. Your stomach might hurt. You know, you might get a little headache, but you might be having heat exhaustion. So please take care of yourself. I think the library is the cooling center. There are a lot of local rec centers. All of them are cooling centers. Heilman isn't that far from us. It's a cooling center. So please, if you don't have air conditioning in your houses, please find a nice, cool spot to go, okay? Don't let that heat overtake you. Advertising. We have a lot of events coming up. I did like it when we had those signs that were out. Like the last couple of years, you know, that was just posted along, not Kelly, but posted along, Beaconsville, that reminded the residents of either the movie night or the Jazz Fest, because it helps to remind me also that, oh yeah, I got some other place I can go. Because at the block club party we had, I was walking around reminding residents that we got all this great stuff going on. They were like, we've never heard of it. And I had to tell them, well, it's all in your insider, take a look. But a few reminders would be nice, because I know our first movie night was kind of, there wasn't that many people out. And I think a few reminders would be nice. Those signs was really nice. And I think that's all I had. And I really enjoyed the Juneteenth celebration, my husband and I. So that's it.
Hello. All right, first, I truly hope we're going to be talking to Express Sanitation, because Artie is just not doing their job really well, and I get a lot of complaints from neighbors. All right, and I know we used to have a tree program. I don't know if it's still in effect, but I know I took advantage of it one year, and I got a couple trees replaced on my property. And the website, ours is a little difficult to navigate. When I go to we don't have a search bar. When I go to other cities' websites, it's so much easier. I hope that we can get it upgraded soon, because it's really difficult to navigate. That's all I have. Have a nice week, everyone. Enjoy the warm weather, because winter's coming.
All right, just so everyone knows that this week's concert, because of the hot weather, we will be having it inside the high school once again. So bring your lawn chairs, and no alcohol beverages or any of those kind of things are allowed in the school, but you can bring your own water, lemonade, or whatever, and your chair. And the acoustics in the hallway was fantastic. The sound, it was really nice having that in there. It didn't take away from the sound. It was really, this coming Thursday at 6:30. And it will be the orchestra.
Urban Art Orchestra.
Urban Art Orchestra, and this is a bunch of young folks. that are participating in this, and it's just fabulous. They are, we're actually world acclaimed now. They just got back from Europe over it. So please come out and enjoy. As I said, we're building. It's, but we can only do it if we all participate. Other communities have this. This is our beginning. So we need to continue to show up and show that we are concerned about our community, that we enjoy these. If you don't enjoy them, okay, fine. But I think that every community should be able to give back and have something for the residents that's of no charge. So please come out and enjoy. I want to thank our DPW and everyone for the response that we got for all the outages and whatever. I mean, we had trees that came down that it was just unbelievable. And it was not a tornado, so we can't get any kind of real help with that because it's straight lines. And they have nothing for that, per se. Wind damage, act of God. So we do the best we can, and we just hope everybody stays safe. Once again, the heat, please check on your neighbors. Please check on the seniors and even your children's outside playing. Offer them a popsicle or a cold water or anything. Just make sure everybody stays hydrated so they don't fall out and get sick. And that is a dangerous illness, heat exhaustion. It works on the brain. I had one more thing to say. Now I've just had a summer season, you know, a senior moment. Anyway, however, thank everybody, and I appreciate you all. Have a great day.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
It was Jerry's turn to make the motion.
I'd like to make the motion to adjourn.
Support. Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.